Robin, as I was researching this, I happened to talk to one of the board members for the Circle for Justice Innovations. And through that, I started to do some research. And I wanted to ask this question: when a person is incarcerated, how are those inside the prison system facing abuse and exploitation forced into free or extremely low paid labor based on the exceptions clause of the 13th Amendment?
So, what we do to people in prisons is unimaginable and unthinkable and inexcusable. There's no defense possible. I think about this all the time. Even if you thought that this solution is to isolate somebody and to take them out of community because they can't be in community, there is no excuse for putting them in the kinds of traumatic environments and violent environments that prisons are. And there's no other way to describe them. Jails and prisons in this country are violent, they're dehumanizing. There is a very high risk that your mental health will deteriorate, your physical health deteriorate. It puts you in harm's way. Most suicides and deaths happen in the first week of incarceration. I was actually in Oklahoma last week for work. And in the 3 days that I was there, two people died in the jail, one from a health crisis and one who committed suicide. And I was reminded again of the horrors of jail. And I always think about the ways that we treat people. I use the quote in the book from Nelson Mandela that if you want to understand the soul of a nation, look inside their jails. And it is not a very pretty view of our soul of America right now. You can still believe that people need to be removed from community and treat them with dignity and have them in places where they're not subjected to daily harm and trauma and violence. And I don't know what excuses that behavior other than vengeance and retribution, or we're just unaware of it. Either way, it's indefensible. And so there are lots of people that are working on changing the conditions of confinement when confinement is necessary. Obviously, I think we over confine people and over incarcerate our own population. But if there are people that need to be removed and those are decisions that are left to the system, there's no excuse for the system having to look the way that it is, where people are exploited. Like you said, they're exploited to do work and they're subjected to literally daily harm. And then you think about, you always think about this, like when people come out of our criminal justice system who've been incarcerated and they go on to thrive and do great things, which lots of people do. And I'm always in just awestruck by the ability of somebody to come through our system and thrive. They don't do so because of what we've done to the criminal justice system. They 100% do so in spite of it. Somehow they have the tenacity and the resilience to get through that system and come out not completely broken by it, because our system literally is designed to break people, their souls and their spirits and their physical health, not to actually enable them to come back into the community better and stronger with a better chance of thriving and living out their lives in the community, being productive members of society. And so everything about the way that we've created jails and prisons needs to be reimagined.